Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's been a minute, huh? I know, but welcome back. Thanks for being here. Today we are going over a bunch of your WWE/AEW trade proposals back and forth like to each other. You get it. We'll jump right in. Before we get started, please make sure you subscribe, leave your likes, leave your comments. Follow me on everything. Everything's in the description that you need. All right, without further ado, let's get started. I guess part of this I'm going to say if they're like accepted or declined. That's like, trade words. All right, first one from AEW, you have the Undisputed Era of Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong for a Finn Balor, Tyler Bate, and Pete Dunne. Oof. This is getting declined off the bat from WWE, I think. This is pretty lopsided. I think mainly, respectfully, you are offering up the Undisputed Era, who are just, they're not the Undisputed Era of NXT Gold like you think you're giving WWE, or you're trying to, put a ruse under. All three of those men are a little older. Sure, they can all still go. They're all still great. I just don't know if there's a place in WWE for them right now. And giving up Finn, Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne. I don't think Finn going to AEW is the craziest, but also like a Tyler Bate and a Pete Dunne. Granted, WWE aren't really using them. We did have like a Tyler Bate return. That was great with New Catch Republic reforming, and then just nothing happened. So for the sake of Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne not super being used, maybe getting some more Finn Balor wins, I get it, but I think AEW would have to offer something up way more because there's way too much potential in a Bate and Dunne, and also you have the veteran in Finn Balor. So this is declined. All right, next one. Charlotte Flair for Toni Storm. I'm going to say accept. Granted, I think AEW losing Toni Storm is taking a bigger hit to the company than WWE losing Charlotte. But I'm just thinking, I think it would be cool to see Charlotte in a whole new environment, a whole new feel for AEW. And to Flair's credit, you are losing one of the best women in the division, former world champion, everything. However, you're going to be gaining Toni Storm. Right now, on top, timeless Toni Storm. If she can keep the timeless gimmick, it's probably leaning more in favor of WWE gaining the most, all respect to Charlotte. But I think Toni is just more the one right now than Charlotte is. But also having the veteran in Charlotte in AEW would be cool, and you can pair her up with a Mercedes, do some horsewomen callbacks. It would be interesting to see what Toni could do in this new iteration with her character and how good she is in the ring right now in WWE. So I think this is a fair trade. This isn't the craziest thing. I'm accepting this. All right, next one. Chad Gable for Kyle Fletcher. Ooh, I like this one. I mean, for years, Chad Gable has been called underrated, underutilized. Now he is at least on TV, but now he's wrestling as El Grande Americano, and I don't know. So I think maybe a little refresh for Chad to go to AEW would be the craziest thing. But also, you get a lot of stock on WWE's side with this Kyle Fletcher. They do have a guy in NXT right now, I'm blanking on his name, who people are like, that's the new Randy Orton. No. Kyle Fletcher is the young Randy Orton of the wrestling industry right now. AEW is full of young guys. I think they could use a guy like Chad, and also WWE would throw Kyle Fletcher into the NXT and he would run NXT. So I'm accepting this. This is actually great. I wish this was real. All right, this next trade is Finn Balor for Jay White. I have a feeling we're going to see Finn Balor pop up a lot for some reason. Off the bat, I'm accepting this. Honestly, I'd love to see these two go at it today. Trading a little Bullet Club lore for Bullet Club lore. I mean, these are two guys. We already talked about the Finn Balor stuff. He's been called Pin Balor at this point. I think I saw a tweet where now he's 20-8. In terms of they're 20 losses, 8 wins. I don't know. He's lost 20-2. I don't know. He's lost a lot. Finn Balor slide into AEW would be sick. I don't know how much Jay White would benefit in today's landscape. However, for the sake of Finn losing in WWE and AEW not really using Jay White, and I would maybe even say not using Jay White to his full potential since his debut, besides his one world title feud or when he was kind of in the picture. But I like this. I think there's a lot of potential in this. So I think this is an accept. This is a yay. Nope, wrong show. Next trade is Kenny Omega for Shinsuke Nakamura. I don't think AEW's doing this. This is a decline. Kenny is the heart and soul of AEW. Sure, he is a little older, but he's proven that he is still in well form. Shinsuke, I love Shinsuke. I think honestly, we haven't been shown much of what he can still do. I think WWE is nerfing him of what he can do. And everyone's like, he's older, he can't go. Bullshit, I don't buy it. So as much as I do like the idea of maybe Shinsuke getting a run in AEW, in 2025, I just don't think he's of equal value of a Kenny. Kenny is a breadwinner for AEW right now. He's one of the top guys, if not the biggest name in the company. So this doesn't seem fair. As much as I do like the idea of Kenny in WWE going after a Roman or a Seth, running a Punk feud, and Shinsuke over in AEW getting like a one last run maybe, this trade doesn't feel even. It's a decline. All right, next trade on the docket is AJ Styles for the Guns, Juice Robinson, and Jay White. A little, what's that, Bullet Club Gold. I'm not mad at this. I think this is the first one where you've seen like, a high star player kind of, and like, it happens in like basketball, whatever. You want one guy, you trade 3 guys and a pick or whatever. So this is the first time we're seeing this. I think this is an accept. You're losing AJ Styles, but you're getting 4 great wrestlers. The Guns would be such a sick addition to the SmackDown tag team picture. Then Juice Robinson and Jay White. Sounds like kind of a lot of what I said, for Jay White in the other trade. I think they'd be great additions. Juice Robinson would fit really well in like the US picture, the IC picture. Then AJ Styles, is a lot of people were hoping / speculating for, in AJ Styles' AEW run, maybe a one last run, get some dream matches out of the way. So like, I think this works out for all parties. Like this is an accept. Next trade, we have Karrion Kross, Scarlett, and Asuka for Wardlow, Britt Baker, and Mariah May. Ooh. Okay, my one thing, I don't know much about Scarlett. I know obviously she's the manager of a Karrion Kross right now. Can she, or does she, I shouldn't just say can she, does she wrestle? I just don't know. I don't know much about Scarlett. Does she have an NXT stint? Is she capable of wrestling? Meaning, like, is she cleared? I don't know. I would have to look up, let's do some research. Saying all this stuff as if there's not a computer right in front of me. Okay, her last match was on a WWE live show in 2024 as a mixed tag match versus the Wyatt Six, and she tagged with the Final Testament, obviously. Looks like they're running that on house shows. So, like, unless she's injured or not clear, again, I don't really know too much of the Scarlett lore. She wrestled back in the day for sure. She had a match against Melina. She had a match against Harley Cameron. Interesting. Okay. All right, that doesn't help the trade proposal, but it's still not the craziest. All right, let's break it down. So I think you're matching Karrion and Wardlow. Wardlow has always been compared like, oh, he's like a Batista. He'd do great as just a big man in WWE. So you have that. Karrion Kross not getting used, even playing into not getting used. Why isn't he on TV after him kind of being over the past couple weeks? They're still not using him for some reason. Don't know what's going on there. He released his own documentary on his YouTube channel that like did really well and got a lot of support. So I think a Karrion run in AEW might even be needed. Then you look at Scarlett and Asuka for Britt and Mariah. Asuka being one of the best in the world. She is injured right now, assuming this is like when everyone's healthy and Asuka comes back. Britt Baker's been off TV for a little bit. I really don't know what's going on there. Again, could be an injury. I have no idea. Mariah May, one of the best right now. One of the best, if not the best women's feud period of the past 10 years with Toni Storm. Some of the best matches with her. This isn't crazy. I do think WWE is benefiting a little more. You know what? I think this is getting declined because AEW is going to want to keep Mariah and honestly Britt Baker and probably Wardlow. I think, I don't know. Because WWE, I think generally just be concerned with losing Asuka. So I think this is going to be a decline. All right, next one we are proposing Sami Zayn for Daniel Garcia. Ooh, Buffalo. Don't hate this. I think the star power is definitely greater in a Sami Zayn, so it's not totally equal in that sense. However, WWE would be trading for a young prospect in DG, in young Danny, send him over to NXT. Him and Ricky can run shit over there. He'd be perfect for NXT right now and kind of growing into a main event player. And like this person's saying, I mean, Sami Zayn in AEW would be sick. I think we'd get a lot more like ROH style matches where Sami can really flex those muscles again. Danny has an NXT look, has a WWE look in general. So I agree. I think both these men would thrive in the other companies as much as they are thriving in their current companies. But it's too lopsided. I think you need to throw in someone else with Danny to get a Sami Zayn. So this is a decline, but I like your thinking. All right, this next one is Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, and Sami Zayn for a one Jon Moxley. This is crazy. This is nuts. This is being declined. This is even making it to the table. This is being declined so fast. I mean, we already talked about Balor at nauseum, the veteran, losing a lot, but I think he's still so valuable in any company he's in. So I don't know how quick they're losing. I don't even think you do do Balor for Moxley straight up, I think maybe. But you add Owens and Zayn, like Kevin Owens, one of the most solid guys in the company. Always reliable. That's what I mean. Always reliable. One of the best wrestlers and workers of today. Sami Zayn, you can say all those same things for. Sure, as cool as it would be to get Moxley back for Shield stuff and like, yada yada. With that said, I'm not saying AEW would I think AEW would do this in a heartbeat, is what I'm saying. WWE isn't going to want to lose those three guys for a Moxley. AEW would have a field day with it, but it's way too lopsided next. All right, we got a two-piece here that says Asuka for Thunder Rosa and then Johnny Gargano for Hook. Ooh, I want to have a problem with either of these, but I don't. I think they're both getting accepted. Asuka for Thunder Rosa is interesting. Thunder Rosa is great. Asuka, one of the best in the world. I do think Asuka is a little bit up here, but like a trade's a trade. You're hoping for stock and value, and people are going to fluctuate, blah, blah, blah. So I think that's getting accepted. I don't dislike that. Gargano for Hook, I think, is also interesting. Granted, Gargano and DIY as a whole have been treated better, definitely with the SmackDown division getting better, and SmackDown Tag Division, I should say, being featured more prominently. They were left off Mania, but they had a banger of a TLC match on SmackDown. However, it's been said for years, Hook is an NXT prospect. Gargano now, I don't even know how, he's not in his later career, but he's had such a long career, it feels like he's in his later career, but he's not. But anyway, Gargano is very suited for AEW just with his style and like smaller, fast-paced, maybe a little more hardcore. There's some dream matches to be had over there. Hook, super young, has a good look to him, has the family name, I think would do very well under the guise of an NXT, and I think he'd have the same trajectory as a Dom where people are gonna like, it happened in AEW too, where people were like, oh, send Hook, and he's kind of a meme or whatever, then he gets in the ring, the bell's got a ring, and he's like, oh, I improve every single week and I'm actually nice. So I love this trade. I'm accepting both. All right, last one here. Classic, straight up MJF for Miz. I get it. That's the comparison as always. I just think MJF is way too valuable to AEW, and you might not think it, but The Miz is also very, very valuable for WWE. I don't think as much where they'd like take him off the table for a trade, but The Miz is one of the most underrated, underappreciated wrestlers of all time. He's a workhorse. He's reliable. He's the current Dolph Ziggler where you put him against like a debuting new guy, returning guy to put them over and make them look good. Former world champion, unbelievable on the mic. It would be interesting to see what The Miz does on the mic in an AEW. Maybe there's less little, eyes looking at you in terms of like, from backstage being a little more strict. MJF, in terms of that, might get a little nerfed. He might not be able to swear as much as he likes to, I think MJF would thrive in WWE. I don't think The Miz would do too hot in AEW, especially this later stage career Miz. I think they're both, like I said, I think they're both just so important to both companies. I think they'd rather retain him. And also, it is just more lopsided. I mean, MJF is so young and has so much more to give. So I don't think this is very even, but I like the idea, but ultimately declined. All right, I think that's going to do it, folks. Let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with. What are some other trades that you have in mind that you think you would do that might get accepted? Please make sure you subscribe, leave your likes, follow me on everything. I stream on Twitch and on here for some of the shows, especially Raw and SmackDown. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for being here. Bye, 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 goodbye, bye, bye, bye.